Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So I've tried to position the camera like as high as I can so you guys can get a better view of my desk and all of my substrates because I've got 4 separate canvases over here. So what I'm going to do a video on today is working in multiples. Now, I used to do this all the time, you guys, and I haven't made a video where, I think I made a video where I talked about the value of working in multiples, but I don't think I've actually made a video where I am working on, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 canvases or pieces of paper at one time. And the reason why is a couple of them. The first thing is generally when I'm working on a whole bunch of canvases or Bristol paper or watercolor paper or whatever, I'm doing it outside and I don't record outside. I don't have a setup where I can do that. And the second reason is that because of this very problem, like I'm trying to get as much of the of what's on my desk in the camera frame. But that being said, there are so many great reasons to work this way, and I kind of started doing this kind of accidentally when my daughter was really young and time was of the essence, and I had to make the most use of like every like minute, okay, because she was young. My whole life revolved around her and her schedule, and as everybody knows, like when you have a young child, it's your time is limited, right? So I just kind of started doing it accidentally where I would just spread out a whole bunch of pieces of paper out in the sun. I could work really fast, I could splash, I could get out my spray bottle, and I could put like 20 pieces of Bristol paper on a table, and then I could do whatever, leave it, go away, come back, and it would well, that's one layer right there, right? But then I discovered that there are many other reasons besides time to work in this way. Now, the first thing is, like, if you're working in a series, so just say you're working in a series of 2 or 10 or 20 or whatever, generally what I found is that, just say I'm working in a series of 4, okay? Well, I would work on all of them together for about maybe 70 to 75% of it, and then I would split them apart. So what I mean by that is I would get out my paint palette and I would use the same colors for all of the 4 pieces. I would use the same, sometimes even the same mark, because if you're like taking a paintbrush and you have some paint on here, you can like make a whole mark, and you can just go like a swoop over all of the pieces, right? You can move the pieces around, you can use the same collage, you can blah blah blah, right? So then after about 70% of it, I would I would separate them, and then I would work on them separately to completion, right? Because I didn't want all the pieces to be too much alike, but I wanted them to be cohesive. Now, these particular pieces, I did not work on them all together. I just pulled them when I was cleaning out my studio. I think, I could be wrong on this, but I think these 2, I did work on them together, but then these 2, I don't even think they're from the same time period. But before I turned the camera on, like I did work on it a little bit, like over the past few days. So that's why it seems like this one is more in line with these 2 than it actually was. As I hope I'm explaining that correctly. It didn't start off that way, right? And this one you can see is like a completely separate piece because it's just, it's got the grays and it just doesn't look like it fits in with here. But I was just trying to explain, like, if you are working in series, then this is a great reason to do that, to work in multiples. But it's really fun, you guys, and especially when I'm outside, because I've got like way more space. I can really like get my arm in there, I can like do stuff, I can get my spray bottle, and like everything dries really fast in the sun. So there are so many great reasons to work this way. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to now I don't have a lot of room on my desk because I mean, this is taking up a lot more room than if I had one piece of paper. Now this over here is gallery wrapped canvas, as you can see, so you can just hang it right on the wall. And basically what they do is there's wood here, and then you buy it like this, and then it just like wraps around and you can just hang it right on the wall. And this one here is different. It's a wooden it's made out of wood, so it is a little bit different. And you know, neither one is better, or you know, just it's your preference. I just happen to have that wooden one, I guess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pick some colors, and I just, you know, after working in monochrome for the past week, I'm really loving like my colors. Like you know, working in monochrome is it just teaches me so much, so don't get me wrong, and I am really loving the information it's giving me into my visual language, the stuff I can do in my studio log, etc. But then coming back to color is just like, whew, you know, I can feel that like rush of, oh my goodness, color, 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 and I can just have a new appreciation for it, right? So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some of my inks. Now, I'm not gonna use this spray. Now, if I was outside, I would totally go to town with this spray, but I don't want this spray to like get all over the windowsill and stuff. So, so I'm gonna take a little bit of this, I think, and I'm just gonna kind of randomly kind of put it on here, and let's see what happens, you guys. Let me see here. Like, ooh, look at that, you guys. Oh my goodness. And so do you see how this lends to a very cohesive, like your color palette, everything. Like when I work like this, you guys, I tend to look at the, like just say I'm working on 4 canvases, or it could be 20, you know, it doesn't matter. I look at them as a whole. And like I said, up to a certain point, which is about 75%, and then I split it. But I look at it as a whole, like one piece, because, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be. Like, if you're not working in a series, you don't have to look at it as a whole. But it's kind of, it's inevitable, I think, because if you're working on one piece, that the things that happen on one canvas are just gonna kind of work its way into the other one, right? And there's nothing wrong with it, whether you're working on a series or not. Now, the thing about working on a wooden canvas like this one over here, you guys, is it does take a bit longer to dry. That's what I found anyways, and it's not my favorite to work on, to be quite honest. I don't know, everyone is different. I prefer the cloth canvases like this one here, and the wooden ones do tend to be more expensive. Yeah, but they don't absorb as much, right? Because the fabric, the cloth canvas, it's gonna absorb the paints differently and better, whereas the wooden ones, it just kind of sits on top of it. So neither one is better or worse, you guys. It's just different. That's all that is. It's just a preference, right? So because I've got some errands to run after this video, this is great because, and this is exactly what I mean, you guys, and this is why this worked so well when my daughter was younger, because I've got some errands to run. I'm putting like a lot of the, see how much, like how watery this is, and then that's great. Well, that might have been a bit too much water, honestly, but I'm gonna get a little bit of that off there. But see, I'm putting like quite a puddle, and that's really good because like I'll go away for a few hours and then I come back, and then, you know, it's like, oh, okay, it's all dry, right? So it really does work well, and you get like really luscious effects, and like I really love it. I love working in multiples. I haven't done it a lot recently because my desk is so small, but because it's you know, it's summer and I've been working outside, I have right now said, oh, okay, I'm working outside, I can set up my table, like, you know. And So let me show you what I mean, you guys, by taking, so I'm gonna take a blue, for instance. It could be any color, but you know, I do have some blue here. So I'm gonna make a mark over all of the pieces, right? And this is what I mean. Now, my arm movements are gonna be a little bit restricted here because I don't have the, like, you know, if I was outside, I've got a lot more arm room. But now I'm just gonna go like so, right? So this is what I mean. You can just go like, see, you can just make that one mark, and then I could like move, I didn't get this canvas over here, but I could move this over here, and then I can make another arm movement. Do you see what I mean? Or I can just, you know, take my brush and as if I want to, if I'm doing a series. If I'm not doing a series, totally fine, you know? And even if I am doing a series, like, you know, you can do whatever you want. But what I'm saying is, like, you can make an arm movement and you can just make it through all of them, right? Or 3 of them or whatever. And that's another way you can unify the pieces besides your color palette. Another thing is, like, just say I'm gonna get my Posca markers, right? And I'm gonna make some designs, I'm gonna make some patterns, I'm gonna use some chalk paint, I'm gonna make some patterns. Well, I can make, you know, some dots over here, I can make some dots over here, I can do them randomly. My point is, you can work on all of them at one time. And when you do that, you know, and then just say, like, I'm not going to do it right now because there's like puddles of paint here that I don't want to move because I don't want it to, like, you know, I don't want it to spill. But just say, like, if I could move my pieces around because there weren't these big puddles of paint, you can also move your pieces around, right? So you can be like, oh, I'm going to make this arm movement here. Then you can move it around and you can get different movements, right? So there's so many great reasons to work in this way, you guys. I cannot tell you. I'm gonna put some gold here, smush it in. This particular gold, you guys, I purchased it when we lived in Italy, and it's Primo, and it's actually fabric paint. And I've mentioned this before, but fabric paint is amazing, especially the golds, I find. It's just because it's made for fabric, right? And you know, your canvas is fabric, but it's just a really high quality paint, I find, and it's not like super expensive, you know. So yeah, I would totally look at the fabric paints, especially in like the metallic colors. Like, look at that, you guys. Ooh. Now I can get gold happy, you guys. I can totally go to town with the gold, and I have to stop myself. And it's almost like whenever I get the red out, I get the gold out. It's like inevitable, okay? It's like, it's just like, it just goes together, right? It's with my, like, my visual language. I just chalk that all up to me being Indian. Like, if you're Indian, gold and red, they just go together. They just, like, you can't separate them. Now what I'm gonna do is, because I have been getting a bit courageous with my purple, I'm just gonna like spill some purples here. And as you can see, you guys, this is like all over the place. It's not like, I wouldn't say that this particular 4 pieces is cohesive right now in terms of the color palette, because like I said, I didn't start off, you know, with all of them being the same. I think they're even from different time periods, like completely, like many years apart. Now I think 2 of them might be from, like, I might have worked on them together, but the rest of them, and that's okay, because once you keep on working on them, they are going to start to look the same, because you're going to use the same colors, the same marks. They will start resembling, you know, you'll see the similarities, right? Okay, you guys, I am gonna leave this. And I think this is going to be a standalone video. Like, I don't think there's going to be a part 2. Just for the simple fact that I was just trying to illustrate like how working in like, you know, it could be 2s, 3s, 4s, 10, 20. So working on multiples is just a really great way to make the most of your time, to do series, or just to like, just to create backgrounds, you know. They don't even have to be series, really. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna leave this here, and I hope that I'll be able to kind of like show a lot of this so that, you know, stuff doesn't get cut out. Anyways, you guys, I hope that this has been fun and inspiring and informative, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.